Hey everyone, Danny Greco here today, talking about inspections, but not as you might think. Not so much from the buyer's perspective, but more as a strategy pre-listing for a seller. So typically, historically, we know that inspections typically take place for the buyer once they're under contract with the seller and they've already agreed to terms like price and closing date, earnest money, that sort of a thing. Now we've been a pretty non-historical market for a while. So one thing we've been doing and one strategy I've started to see a lot more sellers employ is they're, prior to the home hitting the market, going to hire an inspector to inspect the home so that they, when that home becomes available and goes on the market, they can publish those findings with the inspection and provide that to a buyer, should a buyer be willing to accept that. And they're doing this for a number of reasons. One, it's helpful to know just prior to listing if there is anything major that's going to be found that you might want to take care of prior to going on the market. Maybe your roof is on its last leg. Maybe there's some foundation issues in the crawl space, or maybe you've got a big sewer problem that you never knew about. Things that are ultimately going to be found by a buyer's inspector anyway. It might be a good idea as a seller to have a heads up on that before you hit the market so you can address those issues, or use that to price your home more accordingly if you maybe don't have the money to take care of some of that. I'd say more importantly though, sellers are using that as a strategy to induce buyers into accepting that inspection rather than performing one on their own. And what I mean is, in this market that we've been in, and typically are this time of year, first, second quarter, buyers, it's a very competitive situation for buyers. And it's very easy for buyers to get behind financially on inspections because they're competing against multiple offers, multiple buyers on multiple homes where there's no inspection provided, and in order to make their offer more aggressive, they will perform an inspection with an inspector before the offer review date and then submit their offer, now sans the inspection contingency, since they've already satisfied that, which is great. However, if you've done that 2, 3, 4 times and still have not gotten an offer accepted at $500 a pop on these inspections, you could be $1,000, $2,000 in the hole. So if you come across a new home that you like, and at this point you've exhausted all your money towards pre-inspections that you want to, but they've got an inspection that's been provided to you. Now here's the big part. That's from a reputable and known inspection company, not Uncle Joe or Cousin Jim or whomever, but somebody that your agent knows, and you can view the report and take those findings for what you will. Now that buyer might be enticed to proceed with this home and just accept the inspection that the seller provided rather than pay for one on their own. And this is really appealing, I think, to that niche of buyers who have kind of been exhausted in that process. So if you're a seller and you're offering this inspection with your listing, you're pretty much not, you're doing what I call as a buyer, you're not paying to play. So if you're satisfied and comfortable with the results that are provided in that report, you can choose to move forward with that inspection and just waive any additional inspection and not having to pay your own inspector to come and do that. Now, I would recommend that you probably still want to do your own inspection, just because it's nice to have somebody who's in your court vested out looking for you, but that's every buyer's choice. So we're starting to see this more with the sellers, and I feel that this is a successful strategy in getting more offers with your house, because you're more likely to appeal to those people who don't want to pay to play. So it's interesting. We'll see kind of how this progresses as the year progresses, and certainly if there's any change once we get out of this odd time that we're in with the virus. But that's if you've ever seen why an inspection is provided with a home that's for sale, that's the reason why. So any other questions, just let me know.